Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my 70th video. Excuse me. Yeah, this is my 7th video. Now, this is another countdown video. Okay? Alright? These are my top 5 favorite crossovers. And this of everything I've read. Okay. My number 5 is... Let me think about this. Higher. Onslaught. Good setup. Yeah, there was a setup for this crossover for about 2 years. I wasn't reading at the time, but of the crossovers, basically, Onslaught is number 5 on my list of my favorite crossovers. Why is it? Despite the fact some people think it's a terrible crossover, I think it's a pretty good crossover, because you have a big, huge threat like Onslaught, despite the fact it started in the books of X-Men, but it's just a good crossover, and it's collected in 5 books. Well, 4 main books and a prelude. Okay? I just like this is really cool, and the fact you have the entire Marvel Universe fighting one giant bad guy. Okay? Number 4. Age of Apocalypse, possibly one of the greatest crossovers of 1990s, and it's number 4 on my list. Why? Because I've got a bit higher ones, okay? And plus, I'm also sharing this spot with Knightfall. Beautiful written cross. Actually, you know what? Make it number 3. Number 3 is Knightfall. Personally, one of my favorite Batman stories of all time. Despite the fact being a long crossover, but it's a good one and written in a very well way, thanks to the writing of Chuck Dixon and Danny O'Neill. Okay? Number 2. My number 2 favorite crossover has got to be Messiah Complex from the X-Men comics. One of the reasons why I like this crossover, because, for one thing, this crossover had a build-up. It basically kind of did build up. It wasn't exactly a build up, but it did wrap up a lot of stories going in the X-Men comics at the time. And plus, sometimes crossovers can be used to wrap up stories. This was a very short crossover, despite the fact it spread over 3 months in most of the X-Men books. And it served its purpose. It wrapped up almost every single storyline going in all the comics at the time. Like, for X-Men, it wrapped up the Rogue with the whole virus thing. Okay, it's such a cool story to read, and you should read it, despite the fact it's the start of a series of crossovers leading all the way into Second Coming. Alright? Yes. Messiah Complex does end a lot of stuff, but it does start some new stuff. Okay? Because it's a contained crossover, and one thing it does involve the Marvel Universe. Despite the fact Onslaught's on my list. Age of Apocalypse, no, it's not. There's something like Onslaught and Age of Apocalypse, but it could be long. Age of Apocalypse only affects the X-Men books. Okay? And my number 1 favorite crossover of all time is Night of Owls. A very well-executed crossover, because this crossover had been building in Batman comics for a very brief period of time. Despite the fact it's a crossover from DC, it's a very well-executed crossover, because this is a crossover done right that DC has done the past few years. It's not heroes versus heroes. It is heroes versus villains. Well, in the case of Assassins, the Talons. Despite the fact it does cross over with pretty much every single Bat comic except for Batwoman, who has no explanation why. Though the current writer allows it basically to be tied into any crossover going on right now. So, those are my top 5 favorite crossovers. Alright? Number 5, Onslaught. Number 4, Age of Apocalypse. Number 3, Knightfall. Number 2, Messiah Complex. At number 1, Night of Owls. Those are my top 5 crossovers of all time. My top 5 favorite crossovers of all time. I will list them in the description below by order that I said. Okay, that's it. Stay tuned for my 71st video. Okay? Bye.